welcome to Jim's Hot Rods Beyond, where I make the impossible practical. I don't have a lot of money, so I'm going to show a lot of stuff that you can do on your own, and some things you can't. You really know how to know what you're doing. So I said in the last video I talked about the Nailhead. That's what we're talking about. 26 Ford Roadster, Buick Nailhead powered. We're going to show you what I want to do, because a lot of people don't do it. In order to get the induction that I want, I had to custom make a lot of parts. So we're going to show you right now what I start with. This is a 2-barrel factory 364 Nailhead intake manifold. Pretty crappy. Not really much you can do with that. I probably could weld the big hole that's in the side, the crack, but you know, this thing weighs 60 pounds of cast iron, and that Nailhead's got a lot more power than this gives it. You know, from the factory, in a motor's book, it'll tell you 354 horsepower from the factory with this intake manifold. You put a 4-barrel on that thing, you're increasing it to 405 from the factory with a 4-barrel single. I could do better than that. What about blowing it? So that's why I set out to do. Come to find out, no one's making intake manifolds. There was a few back in the 50s and the 40s and the 60s made by Ed Iskandarian, anybody like that. I don't know if Mickey Thompson had made anything. I know they made pulleys and shit like that, but there's not a lot available. So I sought out to make my own stuff. So this is what I found. Here's a picture of a vintage 1950s Detroit blower that I had purchased off auction. It's an NOS piece. It was still in the box. It's never been used. Somebody had tried to make a rear cover, excuse me, but then they got lost. They stopped because, you know, it wasn't set up with all the fixings, but it was set up for the street. I guess someone had done it. Who knows? It could have been Iskandarian. It could be anybody like that. I don't know. So that's where I started. You can see a top single 4-barrel carburetor plate on top of it. Some people call that a 144, but the rotors are like 8 inches, 10 inches, or something like that. So, anyways, we're gonna show you how far I got. Let's go and look at the engine now. 364 Nailhead. This is what I got. There's a lot of work involved in this. This is the blower. You come over here in the back, you can see where that cover is. Now, I haven't done very much to the blower because there's nothing to do to it, but whoever made this cover did a really good job. They just never finished it. But all the black bolts, they're going to be gone. They're going to be all stainless, polished like all of everything else. I started with trying to find vintage parts. Everybody knows what that is. If you don't, Polaris Corporation made this. This is a Predator carburetor. Anywhere from, I believe the part number, which is a 6000 series, went from 350 CFM all the way to 1100 CFM race motor. This particular carburetor was designed for a blower, and a lot of people used to run these on their big block Chevelles, but they used to pair them up. So that's what I sought after. This is an NOS piece carburetor. I don't think it was ever used, as far as I can tell. So that's where I got so far. I had to mock up how I need to get an intake manifold, because there's nothing available. This is a piece of foam. Pink foam, regular Home Depot foam, hardware store foam. Well, that right there is going to be an intake manifold when I'm done. I cast my own aluminum parts. There's going to be a lot of questions. Feel free to question on that one. I'll show you some of that after. In order to get that now, this is completely marked up on the exact size intake manifold that I want. So now I can start doing the blower parts. In order to do that, I started with a drive coupler. I milled this drive coupler on the lathe out of a 3 by 3 inch stock, round stock. Threaded it internally. I know you're supposed to spline them, but I have a better idea of doing something. I get it in my head and I start doing it. So I instead of spline drive, I threaded it for this particular setup. So I went from there, made the drive shaft. This is TG&P, turned, ground, and polished down to 1/1000th of an inch for a 1-inch bearing. So I ordered that, milled it, re-threaded it. So now that's my drive shaft. Now the only thing I'm missing is a front cover, the snout, the swing arm, because I'm doing Wyan had vintage. Everybody knows it, the Mad Max Interceptor, Australian car. The front Wyan blower on that particular blower had a swing arm, reverse pulleys, and it had a belt catch. Same thing with the lower pulleys. So after I got that, I had ordered 2 high-speed 6,000 RPM bearings. Completely machine quality. That fits in the shaft. These will go one in the back, one in the front. So I got that. That's how far I got with the drive shaft itself. It's a lot of stuff here to very interesting stuff. So then I went from there to make the front cover. Now here's the front cover. This is how far I got with the front cover. I'm going to put this on so you can see that it goes on there. I'll take it off. I started with a solid 2-inch piece, 6 by 12 inch 6061 T6 aluminum. Aircraft quality aluminum. It's not cheap, but I hand milled that on the Bridgeport, and then I polished it by hand, or at least not fully polished. It's 20 minutes from mirror finish polish, because this is cut down with 400 grit, and then I have to do the rest of it. So we'll put that on there. So there you go. You can see it now. Here's the biggest question. What is this big top flat piece right there? Well, if you look at the carburetor and you see this gold fitting, and you'll see, if you put your mind together, you'll see where all the colors are going to. So this right here is for the fuel filter. And I'll show you that, and then we're going to call it into this video, and then we're going to say done. So here's the vintage fuel filter and screen. And you're going to put your mind at ease and just picture how that's going to look with a piece of brass tubing going out. So we're going to get to the next video. Have a good day.